pretty intimidating, this little stroll. 2 flights of staircases for the St Albans Arena. Hey, it's Kath, our tour manager's lovely fiance.
Hi, what are you doing?
I'm reporting for the BBC.
Are you?
This is actually going to go out.
Is it really?
What do you mean, how come? Because I'm a fantastic reporter.
Oh, is that what it is?
I'm just going to walk past the loading bay. Easy, guys. How's it going?
I'm alright, how are you?
Yeah, thank you. This is me at the side of the stage. I'm looking out. There's quite a few people about. It is fairly intimidating. You can hear the thump of the crowd, the murmur, the chit-chat, the excitement of it all. Yeah, it's just a glimpse of what it's like being a nervous rock star in a hometown. Good day. Been asked to do a rider walkthrough with everyone. We've got a British cheese selection. We didn't specify it'd be British, that would be jingoistic and xenophobic at the same time. We do like cheese, obviously. There's gin, 2 bottles of red wine, there's a lot of booze. Let's get away from the booze. Big pack of tea bags that's not been opened, but which we will be giving to the homeless after the gig. Salad, breads, there's a few more dips. It's not really anything you can make a proper meal out of, but it will at least keep the wolf from the door. So that's the rider report. And of course, I must mention that we always include a pack of Rennie on our rider because at least half of us suffer from indigestion and heartburn, and it shouldn't be scoffed at. It's horrible. This is Ed Gibson reporting on the rider, and I'll do this again tomorrow when we probably have exactly the same thing. All right, take care, bye.
That was Ed Gibson reporting for the BBC, backstage at the Friendly Fire's homecoming gig at the St Albans Arena. The sandwiches on the rider. Anyway, where were we? The band released On Board just after Photo Booth in May 2007, which kept the ball rolling at radio and in the new music press as well.
I guess both Photo Booth and On Board, they were both getting a bit of play.
Rob the Bank.
Rob the Bank.
We should, say thank you to Rob the Bank for playing a lot of our stuff very early on.
Rob the Bank. Colin Murray was great as well. Zane Lowe a little bit.
Colin Murray played a lot of our stuff early in the day.
Colin Murray was the first person to play us on radio.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Before Rob the Bank?
Yes.
Oh, well, I've been pioneering Rob the Bank all this time. Yeah.
Anyway, but Zane Lowe a little bit. It was going alright. I guess the labels were still kind of sniffing around, but no one was really biting.
I think with Photo Booth and On Board, they were definitely keeping us in like the public eye.
But it was Paris that seemed to cement in the minds of the music industry that Friendly Fires were a band with more to offer than fey indie notoriety.
When we recorded Paris, that maybe had more of an impact, I think. That was the point when a lot of labels that initially turned up to our first gig as Friendly Fires at the Old Queen's Head.
And then ran with their fingers in their ears screaming.
Yeah.
So it was not good.
Apart from XL, who actually, an A&R guy from there called Matt Thornhill, helped us load the gear back into the van at the end of the night. Seemed pretty keen, but then disappeared.
I think it was quite an obviously poppy, accessible song, and I think it has something about it that appeals to a lot of people. But at the same time, we were becoming a much stronger live act, and people were talking about us, and I think each sort of area of the live thing and the quality of our songs were getting better, and we were just capturing people's attention that way. But it wasn't like, oh, and then they wrote Paris, and then everything went swimmingly. It wasn't like that.
By this time, Ed, Jack, and the other Ed had had a bit more time to practice on how to handle music industry types. The weirdy beardies. The early days of A&R men taking them out to dinner and this being a massive compliment for the band were starting to become a distant memory. Well, almost.
I think we were kind of too polite. I think we would go there, take us out for a meal. At times I was just thinking, like, so why are we here? Look, do you want to give us a deal or not? Okay, we're going to have, like, it just kind of felt like we were wasting time a little bit at times. I don't know.
Yeah. Like dating though, isn't it, where you're like meeting someone for the first time and you think, right, so are we actually going to have intercourse or get married? What's really happening here? But you have to small talk your way for ages into either situation.
It's safe to say that a few more doors were opening for Friendly Fires. Then they received a phone call from a person that handed them the biggest set of gigs they'd performed to date and present them with something of a challenge.
I wouldn't say that Paris got us the support slot from Interpol. I think Paris definitely helped us a lot.
It's way too late.
You know Interpol. Remember them? I mean, they've sadly disbanded now, but they did Slow Hands and Evil and the other one, Come Here or something.
And you're in love with someone else. It should be me.
Anyway, at the the time, they were playing massive venues, and this was great for Friendly Fires.
I remember the Interpol shows being quite difficult, to be honest. In retrospect, it was a really massive break for us, to be honest. But at the time, they were really like, you know, playing to loads of Interpol fans who were not exactly the most demonstrative people in the world.
The term for it, that it was like playing to the Terracotta Army.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, yeah. And I mean, they were huge shows for us. Like more people than we'd ever played in front of before.
But we were sound checking in front of them as well.
Yeah.
It was just very awkward because we were totally lumped in this foreign arena environment that, you know, we'd not really played at all. We'd been playing in pubs around London, and to suddenly, be in front of all these people who were a foreign audience to you entirely, it was pretty terrifying.
I remember playing at the Dublin RDS, which is the first date of the Interpol tour.
Massive.
And it's a huge venue.
Boyzone were going to play there the day after, which is just how big a venue it truly is.
And we've been stuck in loads of tides getting from Liverpool to Dublin, and we were late, so we missed our sound check, and we ran on stage and line checked while the crowd were coming in, and we just had loads of people taking the piss out of us, going, like, you know, if you do a vocal check, like, hey, and they all go like, hey, yeah, oh, hey. But then we played the show, and it kind of felt all right. I mean, people would applaud at the end of it. We didn't get booed off. We've never been booed off before, which is quite impressive.
We've been booed, but we've never gone off.
Who have we been booed by?
We had that difficult show in Cambridge.
Yeah.
Really?
Did you get booed off?
We didn't get. No, we never got off. Yeah, we got booed.
Yeah, right.
It was Eagles of Death Metal. They played a gig before us.
yeah,
There were loads of sort of rock kids. Don't know how to dance and didn't like it.
Another landmark for the band happened around that time as well. This time, courtesy of the Zipper, Zane Lowe.
The first time we heard Friendly Fires, I think, was On Board, and we knew that people were talking about them. So we played the record, and it sounded good. But it wasn't until we heard Paris that our attention and our imagination was fully captured by them. The way that they kind of infused the whole sort of Balearic nature of disco music and gave it kind of a modern indie edge. It was a really cool and really exciting sounding hybrid, and that record was really popular for us on our show.
January brought news that Friendly Fires were to be the support act for Jack Peñate on his UK dates. And it was on this very tour that another landmark moment came for the band.
The last date at the Shepherd's Bush Empire, we signed the contracts up in our tiny little dressing room, and they brought along a couple of bottles of champagne that I've never seen in a petrol station before, so they must have been pretty good things.
It kind of felt a little bit underwhelming when we signed. It was just like, all right, sign this piece of paper. What's that? We didn't go out and party that much, mainly because I suppose we were on the road and we're too busy doing other stuff. Yeah, it was just literally just putting pen to paper.
Yeah, it's quite weird. I suppose that's maybe the least, exciting thing about actually signing to a record label is the writing your name on the paper bit. I think it's when you actually get the old kind of physical record in your hand and all of that, that's when proper fun.
So, Friendly Fires were now fully signed up to XL Records, one of the UK's leading independent labels. Friendly Fires could be forgiven for thinking they'd hit the big time. But the hard work had only just begun. Anyway, enough of that. It's gig time on a chilly September night in St Albans. Lead singer Ed is concerned that family and friends are having to hang around outside in the cold.
So I might have to be a dick. I've got people trying to get on the phone out. What I think I want to get into the show. I might have to call it off or something. Yeah, I've got people, friends and family, probably complaining they're outside wanting to get into the venue.
Well, we can continue.
Yeah. And before you know it, it's showtime. This is Friendly Fire's Paris, recorded at BBC Radio 1's Big Weekend in